Hey, so today I'm going to talk about another game because I've been playing a bunch of games, blah, blah, blah. I'm re recording this because I fucked up the last one. So, anyway, today I'm going to talk about a game called The Coma 2 Vicious Sisters. I don't know what the first one is. I've never seen the first one. I've never seen anyone play the first one. The first one is not on any fucking like game store that I've seen. It might be on Steam, but I have not checked. So I know nothing about the first one. But the second one looked really good and I wanted to play it, and I'm pretty sure it's been out for a while, so I'm kind of late, I think. Unless I am not, but I don't know because I haven't checked when it came out. I'm pretty sure it's an indie game. No, I'm pretty sure it is. It's I don't know if the game is Korean. The game takes place in Korea, or I guess South Korea, maybe. But I don't know if the people who made it are Korean. I just know that the game is Korean. It's kind of like White Day in that it takes place in a Korean school and the school gets all fucked up and you're being chased by a school faculty member. Except in this one you're being chased by your hot teacher who turns into an Eldritch abomination. I don't know if it's Eldritch or Eldritch, whatever. Yeah, there's like Cthulhian, Lovecraftian things in it, tentacles and the blood moon, and your teacher is possessed or whatever. She's a flesh thrall, as they call it, which I know what that means. I know what a thrall is. I don't know the exact definition, but it's somewhat like a mind controlled slave type shit. I assume, because the only time I ever saw the word thrall was in Skyrim, and they were vampire thralls. So I'm assuming they were like puppets for the vampire. Whatever. I'm not giving a fucking lecture on what thrall means, but the game is cool. The game is really cool. I love it. It's not scary exactly. It's not like, oh my god, I'm so scared. Like, holy shit. Like, it can be tense, like when the fucking teacher is chasing you, but that's about it. It's not like ooga booga scary. It's a lot of backtracking, a lot of just jumping around from place to place because you have to go from place to place. And I literally mean that. Like, when you leave the school and you go to the police station, you don't just stay in the police station. You eventually have to go back to the school if you want to find some shit. And then eventually you got to go back to the police station and back to the market and back to the. Like, you have to actually go back to places. The game was way bigger than I thought it was. I was just thinking it was going to be like maybe like a 3 hour well made indie horror, right? I was expecting it to be good, but I was expecting like maybe a 3 hour pretty good indie horror, but I think overall it was like 8 to 9 hours. Then again, I did get lost a lot. I did get confused a lot, and there were some parts of the game where they were like find this shit yourself, and I didn't know how to find this shit myself. Like, they would tell me, find this very specific room, and you would check everywhere and you'd be like, I don't know where the fuck it is. And it would be a random locked door in a random area that you checked 20 times, but just happened to not be locked this one time. So there was some tedium. There were parts that were tedious. There definitely were parts of the game that were tedious. I'm not gonna games that have backtracking and you have to save. You have to save your game at smart points and shit, and you got to like try and get around enemies and all that kind of shit. Like games where you can't fight back type stuff, they can get very tedious because sometimes you can get camped out by the monster. Like, the monster will just sit in a place you need to go and just block you. Sometimes you'll just get lost and the monster will just happen to be in the area you are, even though you don't know where you are, but the monster just happens to be there. Sometimes shit will just suck. And also, the inventory is very limited, and there's a lot of times where you just can't pick shit up, and it's like, wow, I have to leave this really helpful item behind. And then sometimes you just won't ever fucking see that item again. But overall, like, when it comes to like gameplay wise, again, it's survival horror, right? You don't fight back, you hide, you run around, blah blah blah, this and that, right? It's standard gameplay. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not like bad, but it's not revolutionary. It's fine. It's fun. It's fun enough. As for the story, I love the story. I think the story was great because it's just about a girl, Mina Park or whatever the fuck her name is. They're Korean, so I'm gonna butcher their names, even though hers is pretty basic. Mina Park. I think anyone can pronounce that. But Yeah, so a girl goes to Korean school. She's, I don't know, doesn't stand up for herself, blah, blah, blah. Stereotypical character who grows throughout the story, becomes more dependent and reliable. And that's kind of her whole story. But a blood moon comes and some kid calls a Cthulian curse, and it's convoluted. It's weird. It doesn't, and obviously, honestly, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's kind of just like one of those like the Dark Lord has risen type shit, where you don't have to understand it. There's just a Dark Lord, and you're gonna die. That's the story. And your hot teacher, Mrs. Song, was it Sang or Song? I don't remember if it was Mrs. Song or Sang, but this teacher, she's hot, and she's like a descendant of one of the ghosts or some shit. So she's like a monster now, and she's creepy with sharp teeth, but she's insanely hot still. She's exactly my type, the creepy woman that can tear your fucking head off. And, it's hard to be scared of her. It's really hard to be scared of this stacked, thick monster just chasing you as her tits jiggle. It's really fucking hard to be scared of that. I mean, not that she hasn't scared me. I've definitely walked through a doorway face to face with her and fucking shit myself, but yeah, overall, it's not really. Usually, you'd get scared just by like circumstance. Like any jump scare in the game was really flat. But if you did get scared in the game, it was usually by going through a doorway and just her being right in your face because you didn't know she was on the other side. But overall, the game is really good. I think it's fun. I think the story is good. I especially like the ending story where they, show Mina's best friend Da Hyun, I think is her name, Da Hyun, something like that. They have hyphens in their names a lot in Korean countries, so Da Hyun, whatever. The friend Da Hyun has like, I don't know, she got bullied in school, abused, blah blah blah, all that. The basic Asian school horror game formula where one of them is abused and suicidal and all that shit, right? And I like that part of the story. I like that part of the story where they delved into how the friend is like super depressed and she was treated so horribly sticking up for Mina, but Mina never stood up for her despite them saying they would take care of each other. And then that's like Mina's breaking point to be like, oh shit, I need to change. And I like that part. That story especially I really liked, though some of the missions pertaining to that exact story were really fucking annoying. But I got the true ending where you save the day and you don't die. I don't know what the bad end is. I don't want to play through that whole fucking game again just to find out. It was a lot longer than I thought it would be. That game was a lot longer than I thought it would be. But it was fucking good. I really liked it. I did not expect it. I don't know what the first game was like. Probably nowhere near as good, but that game was great. So the Coma 2 did not put me in a coma. I was actually expecting to be one of those games that I kind of just like sat with my mouth open, kind of just playing like, it's okay, but not really feeling it. But no, that game was really fucking good. Not super scary, but really fucking good. So yeah, good game. That's all I can say. So yeah, whatever.